Welcome to Comadres y Comics. Comadres y Comics is a podcast hosted by 3 Latina women.
We highlight the Latinx presence in the comic book industry as creators, characters, and fans.
Join us as we talk CHISME, comics, fandom, and beer.
Hello and welcome to a new episode of Comadres y Comics. This is episode 282. We're your hosts. I'm Sarah.
I'm Kristen.
And I'm Jen.
Congratulations, Jen's here.
My bad.
Jen.
I fell asleep.
Jen, 2 jobs? What the hell?
It'd be that way. I need money.
Says the woman who had 3 at one point.
Yeah, actually, how dare you? Look.
Well, now I only have 2, so
wow.
Well, you know.
You hear this shit? You hear this shit?
But one of them I do from home, so you can hardly count it as a job.
Sure. We say as we witness her on this at-home job.
Oh yes. Oh my gosh! But everything it's settled in pretty good. Although today I was a little sick in my stomach. I was like, ugh. So I kind of left early, which helped me out a lot, you know, just kind of setting up for today and getting in the mind frame and stuff. So what's your second job, Jen, if you could talk to us about it?
I want to be, like, I guess a little bit more private. I will say that it's an ice cream scooper, but that could be fucking anywhere. Like, any place that serves ice cream, so that's all I'm gonna keep it as. So I'm a little too high on this. Like, I keep forgetting this is being put out online, and I need to I need to make the FBI at least work a little bit. You get me? Like, I can't just be putting my shit out there. But anyways, yeah. It says me in 30 minutes typing away on Insta, like, this is where I live. My like, ASL. No, JK. But it's pretty much like a variation of what I'm already doing, working like for Jamba and stuff like that, which is saying a lot. My days are, when I do work over there, my days are long. And right now it seems to be like three, sometimes 4 days out of the week. This is if I don't pick up a shift, but they're only like 5-hour shifts, so that's fun. It's different in a way that I don't know if it's good or bad yet. You get me? Like I'm just like, I can't say this for sure. I'm always fucking tired now. Like, for sure. I thought I was tired before all the time. No, I'm tired now. Like,
what?
Like no thoughts, head empty. Like my feet are like swollen. Like, for sure. Like,
damn, new level of.
I'll invite you to be a guest on my new second job endeavor. I'm going to start selling feet pics online. You can take pictures of your swollen feet as a guest.
Oh my god!
As a guest foot person.
All right,
idea.
so long as I get a cut of it. You heard it here first, folks. They've got feet pics for sale. Mine to be announced at a later date. I was telling this to one of my coworkers and friends. At this point, do you know what I've realized? And I was like watching something else too. There is one thing that I do love truly in this world, and it is money. Like, you know what? It's a love of necessity, because I can't continue to live like I'm living. Like, I need more money. Like, I need more money, and so. Like, I need money to move. I need money to go do things that I want. I need money to travel. I need money. Like, I need money. Like,
yeah.
We live in a capitalist society, and unfortunately, I did not live up to Rage of the Machines, and I am just another cog in the machine. So, I'm cogging away.
Man, I'm right there with you. I surely am.
I just wanted to be an out baddie.
I also noticed that Kristen no longer can hang out because she actually has a shop now, and I wonder when I'll see her again.
Which is one of the main reasons I want to sell my feet pics online, because I want to be able to afford to have employees again. And when I had employees, people we trusted and who did a really good job running the shop. Eddie and I had a lot more flexibility to do things. Right now, he is having to travel unexpectedly back and forth to Indio, and it's become very taxing on him because not only is he having to deal with what he's dealing with in Indio, but there's things that need to get done in the shop that, you know, he does. And I'm perfectly capable of doing all of it, but it's just a lot to have to take care of. And before, I was like, you know, going visiting my hometown or going away for races, and I can't hardly do any of that anymore.
Oh, I know. That must be so hard on you, especially with your races. You used to, I think, stay at the hotels over there right before the race started. So, anyways, ladies and gentlemen, we're like three hardworking Latinas here, and we have a podcast, and we're celebrating 10 years of podcasting excellence.
Yeah.
So, cheers to us.
Yay! Imagine I'm clinking a glass.
All right, guys, now it's time for Chisme de la Semana. And what chisme do you have, Kristen?
You know, I actually just found out that Marvel is coming out with a new horror universe in August. And I am just going to say that I love horror. But honestly, I feel like Marvel is just so tired right now. They are trying so hard to compete with DC's Absolute Universe. And actually, they had a good thing from what I've heard with Ultimate, relaunching Ultimate, and it was really popular and people were really into the storylines. But they decided to end it for whatever reason. I have no idea why. They decided to end it, and everyone was like, well, what's coming next? Well, this is what I found out today, that this whole new horror line is starting in August, and it's called Midnight Universe.
Midnight Universe. That sounds cool.
I mean, it's got a cool name. I wonder if it's gonna focus on like their own like creatures of the night or whatever stuff it is that it was called, like Werewolf by Night.
Honestly, that would be interesting if they did like that Werewolf by Night Halloween special or Christmas special, or I don't know, some special, or was it a Man Thing special? I think it was Werewolf by Night.
I think it might have been Man Thing too. Yeah.
I think he was in there somewhere. But anyway, that kind of is cool, and that is exactly what my thoughts were when I read what they were going to do. So this Midnight Universe is going to be a new publishing line where some of the Marvel creators are going to, as it says here in this article, unleash haunting new visions of Marvel's greatest icons. So what it basically sounds like is a what if situation here, which is nothing new. And they are starting with 3 main titles. The first one, Midnight X-Men. Of course, Midnight X-Men. Okay, how many freaking titles of X-Men do we need? So right off the bat,
50
I was salty.
more.
Second, Midnight Fantastic Four. Okay, Fantastic Four, and this is just my own personal opinion, and I know that people are going to want to fight me for this, but Fantastic Four are so fucking boring. I'm sorry. I just don't.
Look, if they couldn't get me in theaters. No, I'm with you, because they couldn't even get me in theaters to see that Fantastic Four movie, and Pedro Pascal was in it. And I was just all
honestly, I did go see it, and I was bored. Even though Pedro Pascal was in it, I was bored. I was like, why am I here?
Yeah.
Last one, Midnight Spider-Man. Okay, I am done. Like, this is just, you're rehashing the same shit over and over and over and over. Like, this B. Belusky or whatever his Asian pretending name is, he needs to be booted, because this, and this is their tagline: the light had its turn. Okay, so I would love it if it was like a Werewolf by Night or a Man Thing, fucking Jeff the Shark. I don't know, but these three things are just things that Marvel has rehashed over and over and over, and I really feel like it's just old and tired. And this whole absolute DC thing, I mean, they just keep hitting it out of the park with all of their new titles right now. We are awaiting Absolute Catwoman, Absolute Green Arrow, and there's a third one, I can't remember what, but people are like knocking down the doors trying to put their names on the pull list for these, because Absolute has just delivered over and over and over. And then here we come with Midnight X-Men. So anyway, that's my CHISME. It's coming out in August. If you are excited about X-Men, Fantastic Four, and Spider-Man going to the dark side, then this is for you. And I will share the article that actually goes a little bit deeper into what each of the series are going to be. But again, it's just going to be limited series for these things. And so it's nothing that people can freaking sink their teeth into and continue to enjoy over a long period of time. So the first one is going to be X-Men, which comes out in August. The second one will be Fantastic Four, which comes out in September. And the third one, making you wait the longest, is Spider-Man in October. And Phillip Kennedy Johnson is writing Spider-Man. Benjamin Percy is writing Fantastic Four. And Jonathan Hickman, of course, is writing X-Men. So I don't know. I am not excited about it. As a retailer, I hope they sell, but to be honest, I think people expect and deserve better than this.
Yeah.
Damn.
Like they
I
have
like
to
that,
be
Rand.
like so good. They have to be like Spider-Verse levels of good to be like interesting at all. Like,
and
so
honestly, I hope I have to eat my words again as a retailer, and that it sells like crazy. And again, I am a big horror fan. I love reading horror. It's my favorite genre. But I do think that it would have been kind of like stepping outside of the box, which is what they need to do, if they would have gone with C or D list characters. How many of these characters does Marvel own and have out there? Like freaking, even if it was Blade, which is a main title character, we haven't seen a good Blade book in a very long time. So anyway, we'll stay posted and see what we actually do.
Awesome. I like that, Rand. That was good. That was good. That was good. All right, guys, now it's time for On My Radar. And I have an On My Radar that I wanted to share last episode, but then Kristen got all heated up and she just went on another rant about what was his name? Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I totally forgot about my On My Radar. So On My Radar is Clayface. The movie trailer, it just came out. Well, not to just came out, but it did come out, and it's gonna be a horror movie, so I'm very excited. And I don't know, I see little snippets of like Batman the Animated Series is like obviously contributed to some of the scenes that we're gonna see in this movie, so I'm very excited. It lives in my memory. I love the animated series, it's just so awesome. So we know for sure it's gonna be a horror movie. So the director James Watkins. Yes, James Watkins, and he is a horror director, so very excited to see what happens with Clayface. I just can't wait.
And is this live action?
Yeah, we're gonna get Matt Hagen. Oh my God,
Who's
actor that? He's the actor. He's Clayface. Fool.
Oh, what's he from?
From Batman the Animated Series.
He
Matt Hagen is the character's name, so it's not an
Oh,
actor.
I'm not very up to date on Batman characters, or very versed in Batman characters. I didn't know that. Okay, got it. But I
Yes,
mean,
so I'm
the
very excited
actor
about
who's
that.
playing him, where's he from? Is what I meant. Because I
Oh,
thought that's
I
what you
don't
were saying.
care.
His
I only care
actor's
about
name was.
I only care about Clayface.
Got it.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, no, it looks really good. It looks freaking awesome, and I can't wait till how they're gonna fit it into the whole Batman universe.
Hmm.
But I don't care. I'm just really excited to see this movie. It just looks
How they
amazing.
do it.
Well,
Did you?
I want to know why you're so excited about Clayface. I watched some of the animated series, and I enjoyed what I watched. I thought it was like so super cool as a cartoon because I was in high school and I was like, whatever. Was I in high school? I don't know when I was, but anyway, but I don't know anything about Clayface character. So what draws you to him and this character so much? Why are you so excited?
It's just I think the way that the character developed in the animated series.
Oh, okay.
First of all, he was an actor, so he basically was using this like this kind of this lotion after he had an accident, so that he was left disfigured, and he's an actor, so basically he went through like surgeries and stuff, and he couldn't get it fixed, and he needed that because he's an actor, he needs his face. And so like he came across this like kind of I guess it was like experimental lotion that he can basically sculpt his face. And so he became even a bigger actor because now he could like take on the kind of like the features of other characters that he sculpted himself with this kind of like lotion. And so, but anyways, it was habit forming, and then it just got really out of control. And then when he got into trouble with someone or with the same people, that they just poured this entire like batch of the lotion all over him, and he's like, no, it's too much, and he's just getting all like swallowed by this lotion. It looks like the blob, and then no, you're using too much. Anyway, so so then he becomes Clayface. And then he goes on like a kind of like a vengeance kind of arc of his story. But later on, you see there's this little girl that Robin meets, the little Robin, the young Robin, and he's trying to help her find who she is, and is she a transient? Is she lost? Has she been, like, because she doesn't remember who she is.
Mhm.
And God, I'm getting all like emotional, but during that episode, Robin kind of fixates on her and is like, he really starts to like her. It turns out Clayface had washed some of his remnants washed up on some kind of shore. So he basically sends out this remnant, which is this little girl that is himself but also isn't. And so when she remembers who she is and remembers what her mission was to kind of like spot out and try to figure out if like he can come out and like join her. And then when they were fighting, he kind of like just swallows her whole, and you see Robin having this emotional moment where he's like, there was only there something like see, I'm trying to remember this from memory from back in the day, but he said something about like there was another casualty, which was the girl's character, and it was like really emotional and kind of like, wow, a different arc of the whole Clayface persona. So anyway, I like that character,
Got it. What
which is why
Robin
I'm
is it?
excited. I can't remember. Was it Tim? Because Nightwing was already in the animated series, so I think it was Tim. I think it was Tim. Yeah. Anyway, I just went on a really crazy rant. Sorry about that, guys. I just got really passionate about that.
No,
But
it's funny because
but anyway, go
when
ahead.
I saw the trailer, so I grew up first watching the 2004 Batman animated series that they like it was called The Batman. And then later, like as a kid, I saw the original Batman animated series that introduced Harley and all of them in that Clayface. But my initial thought when I saw the movie trailer was all like, I thought Clayface was black. But that was like, because in the Batman 2004 series, it wasn't what's his face, it was a guy named Ethan Bennett who was a black police officer, and who got turned
Oh, I
like or like who got turned into Clayface. And so that's how I had it was the exact same thing when I first saw like the Green Lantern move, like way back, when they first did the Green Lantern movie, and I saw that it was Hal Jordan. I had no idea who Hal Jordan was. All I knew was John was what's his face, John, yeah, John
Stewart.
John Stewart,
yes.
from Justice League, that the Unlimited, like the animated series. And when I saw it, I was just like, what the fuck, who is this Green Lantern? I thought Green Lantern was black. Who is this imposter? So and then later
That's
on
how
I learned
felt
like
about reading Wonder Man the comic, because I saw Wonder Man the TV show, and then the comic comes out, and I'm like, what the fuck? This isn't the same guy I watched on TV. Obviously, the comic character came first, and he was white, but I didn't like it, and I read it, and I was salty the whole way, and I was like, nope, I reject this.
Yeah. And so when you were talking about it, and then I recalled, I was just like, oh, that's right, there was like the OG Clayface from the original, like, well, from most of my memories of Batman, of like early Batman, are from that 2004 animated series and the original like animated Batman animated. Who knows how many there fucking are, and they just get jumbled up in my head. So, well, as you were talking about, I was just like, that's right, it was different, it was a different guy. And now I'm just like, I'm probably not gonna go see it unless it's like really, really good. Yeah, it's yet to be
Did you have an
determined.
on my radar, Kristen?
Well, I do have an on my radar, and it is a comic book by Image that came out new this last week. So that was whatever this last Wednesday was, which was the 6th of May. And it is a comic book called If Destruction Be Our Lot. And I also had this out, and I don't know what happened to it. I got all prepared today, and I don't know what happened to all my pages that I had open. What?
This comes from Kristen, who doesn't close her tabs.
Yeah.
I
don't even know
have
how
like
to
100 million open on my phone right now.
Oh my god, how weird.
Okay,
I couldn't.
Okay, so what is on my radar is a comic book called If Destruction Be Our Lot. And the reason why I am sharing this is that Eddie read it. They sent us, the creators sent us, the comic shop, a copy of the first issue long time ago, like a month or so before it came out, and Eddie read it, and he hasn't been able to stop talking about it since he read it, and he says that this is the best comic he has read since we reopened the shop. And so
wow,
yes, so it came out May 6th, and it was written by Mark and Matthew Rosenberg, and the artists are Francesco Segala and Andy McDonald. And it is also, the first issue was a double issue extra length. It was still only $4.99, but it was twice the size as a regular number one. So you really got your money's worth. But here's the synopsis. Humanity is extinct, and all that remains are the robots that once helped us. The robots who once helped us are happier now, doing their work without human interference. But not Abe. He believes there must be something more out there. After nearly getting killed, he's determined to wander the earth until he finds it, or gets recycled trying. So that is just kind of a brief little synopsis, but basically, just like the little description said, there's nothing but robots and automatons and mechanized systems like buses and trains and stuff like that that are still running, even though there are no humans to take from point A to point B, or to clean up after, or to cook for. But all of these robots are programmed and they just keep running on their program. Well, Abe is Abraham Lincoln, who, just like the Abraham Lincoln at Disneyland, he was an automaton who would just repeat the same story over and over and over. So much so that these robots can't stand him because he just says the same things over and over again. But something happens where Abe all of a sudden is like, but wait, why are we still doing these things? There's no humans anymore. Why do we have to keep going on this same track that we were programmed to do? So he basically is like trying to get the other robots and other systems to be with him and recognize, hey, something's weird, something's not right, there has to be humans somewhere. And so he goes off on off of what he's supposed to be doing to basically investigate what has happened. So he starts by getting on a train, and he takes the train to the very end of the line, and something happens there at the end of the line that indicates that yes, something did happen and there is something else out there. So the first issue, double issue, I read it because Eddie would not shut up about it. He said you have to read it, you have to read it. So I finally read it, and yes, it is so good. I highly recommend it. And it's written by, like I said, Matt Rosenberg. But what are some other things that he's done? I can't remember. But definitely a book that you should pick up. It went out of print, first print. It's already second print was on FOC this week. So hopefully your local comic shop will have it. I ordered a few of the second prints because I know Eddie is just going to continue to talk it up. So If Destruction Be Our Lot by Image, definitely pick it up and read it.
Awesome sauce. That sounds really cool. All right, guys, now it's time for our book review. What are we reviewing today? We are reviewing book 0 from Chispa Comics, Pancho Villa, Monster Hunter. And this is a free read that you can actually look up on Global Comics. That's Global, Global, Comics, COMIX.com. And you're able to read this. It's, what is this? Sort of like an Ashcan, would you say?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, and it's just a little snippet of the story. This was written by Hector Rodriguez III, and the cover is Ariel Mendel. Pencils and ink are also by Ariel Mendel, and colors are Saul Savanas. Lettering is by Hector Rodriguez III. Editors is Javier Chapa and Stephanie Cifuentes. Cifuentes. But yes, it's Pancho Villa, Monster Hunter. So what did we think about this issue 0?
I was actually really entertained by it. I'm not going to lie. And I think part of it is due to the fact that Pancho Villa is such this like iconic, legendary like figure that there's enough distance in the past that I can be like, you know what? Yeah, fuck it. Let's fuck around with his legacy. Like it's like he's so like he's like the man is basically a myth. It's like we have like the actual recorded history, and it is very important history. And I think most people who grew up or took a Chicano class or like whatchamacallit, or are from Mexico, or like have parents who were affected in that area during the Revolucion and stuff like that, they know about Pancho Villa. So like, you know what? Not, let's have fun with it. And I was entertained by it. It was like it hit all the like really like nice kind of like hero's journey, or like kind of like tropey aspects that I like. Like he's got like mystical weapons that were passed on to him by somebody that they need like an activation code. It's very like kind of, and probably because I just like saw a trailer for it recently, but it's very like He-Man but Mexican. And not to be like outdone, I know He-Man already is Mexican. Like this is like people like in the same way that I would say like Goku is Mexican. You got me? Like
Right, yeah.
it's been adopted into
Oh,
like Mexican like fan spaces and stuff like that.
Right.
So
yes, yes.
I thought it was fun. I thought it was really like no, that's the summation. Like I like the artwork, I like the concept, and I was entertained reading it. I'm just like, you know what, fuck it, yeah. Like he's fighting the Federales, and in another moment he's fighting Cthulhu. Why not? Like F it. Like we don't know what bro was up to.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
but
that's kind of the same sentiment. I thought it was a lot of fun, and
mhm.
it does remind me of Harriet Tubman Demon Hunter.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like we got two iconic figures, you
Mhm.
know, that are like battling the system, but also battling evil.
Yeah.
So yes, I'm here for it.
Mhm.
What about you, Kristen?
So I have a unique perspective because I grew up being told the story of my grandmother being kidnapped by Pancho Villa.
What?
That's right. I remember you mentioned this to us
And
before.
so the story goes, and to tell you the truth, I've heard two different versions, and I don't know which one is true. First version that I remember hearing as a kid is that my I'd have to look at the dates to even see, is it my grandmother or my great grandmother? Now I don't remember. Pancho Villa rode up to her and actually scooped her up. He was on a horse, scooped her up, and had her like, prone across the horse. And out of the bushes, or out of somewhere, nowhere, this woman came out and said to my grandmother, ¿Qué estás haciendo? Like, go home, in Spanish. And Pancho Villa let her go. And so that's the first version. The second version was that it was some other girl, and my great grandmother came out and was the one saying, "What are you doing up there? Go home." And I don't know if my mom just got her story wrong, but I heard my grandmother say it. I've heard other people in the family say it, and I've heard my mom retell it over the years. And so I've always just heard that story, that
Mhm.
regardless if it was my grandmother on the horse or my great grandmother out there telling him, or telling this other woman, little girl, to go home, in my mind, Pancho Villa was a kidnapper who was kidnapping little girls, and God knows what the hell he was doing with them.
Mhm.
And so when I
Damn.
saw this here, and he's portrayed as this hero, I could not accept it.
Whoa.
No, that's
Well,
good dialogue, because there are places where like Pancho Villa is considered like not a great guy, or like even like if you look at like history and stuff like that, and like of course nobody's perfect, um um and he's like more of a, he's not even really like a hero, like more of like a like a man, like he's mythical basically, but he was just a man. And like in there are places where he was a villain, or I mean the government considers him a villain, sort of. Do they still consider him?
I don't know.
Oh, actually I'm not that familiar with Mexican like sentiments
Well, I did
over.
a little bit of research here
Mhm.
because I was like, honestly, I didn't know. And that
Mhm.
was the only story that I had ever heard. And yeah, I know
Mhm.
Pancho Villa. But like in my mind, he was like similar. Jen, you're not old enough to know this story, but Sarah, do you remember the Brady Bunch episode where Bobby was fascinated with Billy the Kid?
vaguely,
Okay,
but yes, I
so
remember.
Bobby was
Yes.
fascinated with Billy the Kid, and he's like, I want to be Billy the Kid. I want to be Billy the Kid. And everyone's like, but Bobby, Billy the Kid was somebody who was, he robbed trains, he robbed stagecoaches, whatever. And he wouldn't, because I guess he saw a TV show with him or something that portrayed him as this like hero or whatever. And at the end of the episode, his family brought this old dude to talk to Bobby and be like, my grandfather was killed by Billy the Kid, and this is what the reality and the truth of was who he was as a man. That's how I felt. I felt I wanted to be like, no, that this you can't portray this man like this. And so anyway, I didn't know. All I've heard was bad things about him. So I Googled today, like Pancho Villa, hero or bad guy or whatever. And to your question and your statement, Jen, I guess apparently what Google says is that Pancho Villa's detractors basically see him as a bad guy because he stood up against the United States, and he was one of the only people to stand up against them, this big power or whatever. So, and then it says that currently, or like, modern day, that he is seen as a hero in Mexico for doing those kinds of things. But the government, Mexican government, the United States government back then tried to vilify him because he was trying to stand up against this big, great power. But then also, there was a lot of talk about how he was very much known for his violence and for his kind of like very, what was the word they said? Not psychotic, but just like being very evil in the way that he would like kill people. And so 100% there are two different sides to every story, but it really reminds me of people who have the kind of power that he obviously had to have had, where the United States at one point was going to recognize him as the unofficial president of Mexico. The people of Mexico were listening to what he was saying when he tried to come in and take over whatever guy was in power. Those are all, to me, signs of people who are very charismatic, but in a way that is very manipulative and evil. And we see it a lot in government and in political history throughout the years. Hitler was very much like that. Fucking Trump is like that right now. And so as I was reading and educating myself on him today, I was like, this guy had a lot of power, and we all know what power does to people who have it. So anyway, that's my take.
Wow.
I think that's a good take as well, because it's a very like because the way that I've seen him, I've always seen him as like as the guy who stood up to like the states, but I had no like real attachment to him. So I'm just all like, I guess I've always seen more of it as like, I guess from an anthropological sense, this man, this mythical man, basically. Whether he's good or bad is up to interpretation, but I'm distant in that way, and I can be distant. Yeah.
And honestly, I agree with what you said, Jen, and about the art and about the tropes that were in here. And it's the making of a very good story, but I just couldn't get past my connection with us, all the story that I've heard of him my whole life. So,
wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. I know I've heard this story before, but it just became very, very real today. Just like really like. But this story supposedly takes place in 1913. So I don't know if it's your great grandma or your grandma. So,
yeah, I saw that date and I was trying to think, because my grandmother was born in 1902, and so that would have been around the time where she was like. Because she came to America when she was 12. So
who knows? And I think it goes to say like the story might have changed, but the premise stays the same. So if anything, the premise itself is true, and that is how stories and like stories told over time, especially like it's so like your story itself is a microcosm of like history and like and myth at the same time, because though we don't know like the full facts, there is still the premise that a young woman was being not even
Right.
a young girl was being
Mhm.
adopted by a man at a time when we know, like, who of us doesn't have a story about, like, oh, like, my this is how my grandmother met, or this is how, like, my great grandparents met, or like my great grandfather just took my great grandmother from her family and he was
Yep.
like, this is my wife now. And
Mhm.
like, that's, yeah, so that is that in itself, and that I believe is true. Above all
Mhm.
else, that is, I do believe that that's true. And it
Yeah.
is that oh, a young girl slash young woman was being taken by a man for who knows what reasons.
Mhm.
And if it's been passed down in your family, then there's some aspect in there is true, whether it was Pancho Villa or somebody, but Pancho Villa is the name that got attached. So, and it's hard to separate those things, especially once it's tied up with, like, family and with closeness and proximity. So you just threw this into perspective for me in a different way, which is cool. Like, tragic to
Mhm.
whoever it was in the past in your family, but I'm just all like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow. Wow. I don't even know what to say right now, but I guess I mean, the art is amazing,
Oh
but I
yeah.
guess we should move on to actually rate the book. Um, Man, like I really don't know what to say. But what is our rating scale, Kristen?
So our rating scale is on a scale from 1 to 3 conchas. 3 conchas being the most conchas that Jen's mom ever let her eat in one sitting, so that was the best. But if a book is off of our rating scale, then we each make up individually our own rating. So I'm just gonna start because it'll go up from there. Give it. I do give it 1 concha for the art and for the interesting take on the story, a fantastic way that monsters are incorporated, and it's a very interesting way to bring this historical Mexican figure into current comic book storytelling, and for all those things. And also, Hector, we know him very much from El Peso
Mhm.
Hero, and we know that that storyline and story and comic and everything is amazing. So this is very much my own personal opinion and my own personal biases. 100%. I'm going to give it 1 concha.
Fair enough. I'll go next because mine does get better. I'm gonna give it 2 conchas. I think because I like the tropes at play here. I like the hero building and the world building, and above all else, that's what I really like. I like the general fuckery with, like, history, and I really did like the artwork. The artwork was really really good. Um, um and there was like, I remember when we reviewed the El Peso Hero, I had like, I enjoyed it. I liked the book, but I had trouble really truly enjoying it because when I was reading it, I was just all like, "Wow, this kind of feels like crap because there isn't a hero to save us. We have to do it
Mm-hmm.
ourselves, and this is just a like let me wish for a hero. There's no hero. We have to save ourselves." But in this one, there's enough of a historical difference and enough of a personal difference that I was able to enjoy the historical fiction that was taking place.
Awesome. I'm also gonna give it to Conchas. I think it was a nice introduction to this world and the story building, the world building, and so forth. And it was, um, I always am really appreciative when people who create comic books and their stories lent it out for people to read for free,
Definitely,
basically. And I
yeah.
think that's always really good because that just speaks a lot to like giving your, just letting the world kind of like read it and have an opinion about it. And I think that that takes a lot of guts and stuff to do. And especially to put it on global comics just for anybody to pick up and read it. That's really awesome. So I'm going to give it dos conchas and hope to learn more about this character and this world. So that has been our book review. All right, guys, now it's time for En la Librería. Jen, what do you have for us today?
So today I have Songs of the Sahara, Book One, The Serpent in the Sand. This is being kickstarted by Appleseed, who in their bio right here says Prime Minister of Enjoyment, student of West African history, martial artist, former stunt performer, biotech pro, runner, super auntie, rock star sister, and friend. Eposi uses these life experiences and extensive travels around the continent of Africa to fuel her storytelling. So the story here is for centuries, the story of Sundiata Keita, and I'm probably butchering that. I'm sorry. The legendary founder of the Mali Empire has been carried through song and oral tradition. Now, the epic legacy is being brought to life in a stunning hand painted graphic novel series. Songs of the Sahara transforms this powerful historical inspiration into a cinematic visual experience telling the story of a young prince whose exile forges him into the leader his people desperately need. For readers who enjoy the scale of Game of Thrones, the mythic storytelling of Blood of Zeus, and the visual power of modern graphic novels, Songs of the Sahara offers a new epic rooted in African history and legend. Uh, and then it goes on to why this story matters. History is often told by those in power, not always by the truth. As long as only one voice is heard, entire cultures can be misunderstood, misrepresented, or erased. But when people tell their own stories, truth, balance, and identity are restored. Songs of the Sahara is part of that restoration. This story is inspired by one of the greatest legends in West African history, yet it remains largely absent from global storytelling. Through this graphic novel, that changes. This project is not simply about creating a book, it is about preserving cultural memory, reclaiming narrative ownership, creating powerful representation for future generations. And then the story synopsis itself is in 13th century West Africa, kingdoms rise and fall in a constant struggle for power. Across the lands of the Ouagadougou Empire, a ruthless ruler tightens his grip through fear and domination. Once bound by peace with neighboring chieftains, he now wages war against former allies in a relentless pursuit to control the region's wealth, including the vital gold trade routes that shape the fate of nations. Villages burn, kingdoms fracture, people kneel under the shadow of conquest. In this chaotic world, a young prince named Jata grows up overlooked and underestimated, a boy no one believes could ever lead. But history rarely begins with the strongest warrior. Sometimes it begins with the one no one expects. Um, and then it gives a preview of the artwork, which looks really, really good. Um, and a bit more of like the story on like what is at stake, the rise of the legend itself, and then the project itself is going to be Songs of the Sahara is a multi-book graphic novel epic inspired by the historical legend of Sundiata Keita. The series it will be, I believe, 52 pages illustrated with hand-painted artwork created by a professional creative team.
Wow.
But in itself, let me see right here. Like Eposi Litombo, who is the one kickstarting this, is the creator and writer of Songs of the Sahara. We don't get an introduction to the art team yet, but it looks really good. So they have a very ambitious goal of $30,000.
Wow.
Right now they currently have 38 backers and 19 days to go, and they're currently at $12,450. Which is not unimpressive. They're like they are more than a third of of the way there. Um, the base, you can always support without expecting a reward. You just want to show your support. But the base pledge does start at $10, and you are supporting the creation of Songs of the Sahara and to help bring the story to life. And then the next tier up is $25, the first chronicle. You get the digital copy of the graphic novel, high resolution artwork, wallpapers, behind the scenes updates, and campaign content. And then the next tier up from that is the Serpent in the Sand core tier, which is $45. You get the main hardcover of book one, and the digital copy as well. And then at $65, you get a signed collector's edition. And then it keeps going up from there as well. Um, definitely check it out. I think it looks really, really good. And if anything, I definitely want to look more into where this lies. West African mythology is not something that I'm incredibly familiar with. It's more of a in passing. When most people think African mythology, they think Anansi and animal folk tales and stuff like that. But there is like other basically myths and stories and stuff like that that focus around real people as well. So definitely check it out. It is Songs of the Sahara on Kickstarter.
Awesome. All right, guys, now it's time for Juntos y Fuertes. Kristen, what do you have for us today?
So today I have this cool organization called Girls Who Game. They just randomly came across my TikTok the other day. I am generally logged into the store's TikTok because I'm trying to remember to post and like others and interact to get visibility for the shop. But I'm like, you know what? I miss my CHISME TikTok. So I logged out of the shop and logged into my own personal one the other day. And the irony is that this was the first video that came up. It's called Girls Who Game, and they're located in Long Beach. They are a space for women and girls 18 plus to get together every other week, unwind, have fun over games while building community. So if you go onto their TikTok, it's Girls Who Game LB, and you just see this big ass room full of women with tabletops, with card games, with basic board games. I mean, they're all just playing and having a good time. And I was like, oh my God, that's really a great, cool idea. I reached out to them and was like, hey, I have a shop in the West Side, and I'd love to host, provide a venue. And she's like, oh, well, we don't have a host in that area. I'm like, no, I'm going to host you. Like, what do you need to host? Like, I will do it. Like, what do I need to do? Let's make this happen. So that's where it stands right now. But I just thought it was a great way for women who might feel a little bit intimidated playing some of these like RPGs or TCGs or whatever with aggro players, men who might not make them feel comfortable, or men who try to get too comfortable with them. And it's just a really nice gender specific place for women who love gaming to hang out and have a good time. So you can check them out on TikTok, Instagram, and Discord. And on Instagram, they are girlswhogame.lb, and then on Discord they are let's see, Girls Who Game LB. So and look, they invited me to join. so anyway, yes, it's very much amazing idea. I hope that we can get something like that over on the West Side. But if not, if you are on in Long Beach area or on this side of Los Angeles County, or are even willing to drive to Los Angeles County, you can find out about when their next meetups are. And right now on May 23rd, they're having a Dave and Buster's girls night. I love me some Dave and Buster's, but it's so freaking expensive. But I love Dave and Buster's, so I think it's cool that they're having a game night. They have a tabletop and talk series. That's Tuesday, May 26th, and then picnic and play at the park on Sunday, May 31st. So those are their events right now that they already have scheduled. They do have a link tree that I found on their TikTok, and they probably have it on all their other socials. But you can go onto their socials, go to their link tree, and find more information about the events.
Right on.
Nice.
That's so cool. Well, let us know when you host.
Yes.
That'd be super cool to hang out.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. All right, guys. Now it's time for saludos. And saludos goes out to all you mothers out there. Feliz Dia de las Madres. Happy Mother's Day, and they were both on the same day. So like
Oh.
El 10 de Mayo is Happy Mother's Day in Mexico, and then Mother's Day was on Sunday, so it was like a combination of both.
Hell yeah.
I know that other countries have different Mother's Days out there, but so far um, I don't have a handle on the dates of those. But Happy Mother's Day to all you mothers out there. I know it sounds so weird
I know.
what
I
I'm
thought
saying.
you
Is
were
all
gonna.
you
Yeah.
mothers.
I thought you were
Dia
gonna
de las
add
Madres.
an effort.
Yeah.
I just have to tell you real fast about my Mother's Day experience. I was at the shop yesterday by myself. Like I said, Eddie is having to drive back and forth to Indio, so I was there by myself, and he spent the night out there. So I was like, I'm gonna treat myself to a fancy dinner. I'm gonna go to Sizzler. So I go to Sizzlers. I'm like, why is this parking lot so full? This parking lot's never this full. I walk in, it's fucking pandemonium inside of Sizzlers. There are children, and I am not lying, doing cartwheels in the middle of the restaurant. There must have been at least 5 different kids with their iPads at full fucking volume with no headphones on. And I was just like, and I was in line, and as I'm in line, I'm like, do I have the mental constitution to be here right now? But I really wanted steak and potatoes. And
Girl, you can get better steak and potatoes.
No, the usual place I used to go to, Black Angus, they tore it down. So I didn't know where else to go. I didn't know where else to go. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to stick it out. Plus, I'm sorry, but I love Sizzler's all-you-can-eat salad bar.
Remember when they used to have the actual buffet?
There were no seats. And I'm like, are they going to help me find a seat? No, they just give you your tray and they're like, good luck. And so I grab my tray and I'm walking. And luckily, because I was by myself, there was a table with just one chair that no one was sitting at. So I'm sitting there, and there is a table of like 15 Latinos, like right in front of me, right? Like I could reach out and touch them. And the children were running around, screaming. They had their cars, and they were zooming in and out of the legs of the people at the freaking salad bar. And I honestly, if I spoke better Spanish, because they were, I would have gone up to them being like, what kind of fucking Latino are you that you don't beat your children? And they're not sitting quietly at the table.
I was thinking it. But I wasn't going to say it out loud. But you're absolutely
I'm not
right.
going to lie.
100%.
Like, anytime I see a child like acting up, like I just like, and I've called it. This is what I started calling it in my head: the Latina urge to just smack them on the mouth. Like, I'm just so like, I can't be a mom. I cannot be a mom. Congrats to all the mothers out there.
Would have never let me run around like that. And if I even looked like I was going to, she'd grab me. She'd grab me by my trenza and be like, nope, you're not going anywhere. Oh my God. It was so loud and so just like chaotic and crazy. And it was every person of color in the South Bay that was there. How cute. They're bringing their moms out to a fancy dinner. I mean, I was there for my fancy dinner, so I'm not judging.
Oh my God.
I mean, to me, if I were any of those moms, I'd be like, you want to give me a good Mother's Day? You go and you leave me home by myself.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh my.
I'd be te doy pau pau.
Well, the Mother's Day is give me $500 and I'll take myself to a Michelin star restaurant.
For reals. Yeah,
well, I have to tell you, I was very happy with my $26 salad bar and steak and potatoes. The cheese bread alone is worth it.
The cheese bread is good. I'm not gonna lie. I've been tempted. I have been tempted to order Sizzlers like off of DoorDash, and every single time.
Grubhub. During COVID, I ordered Sizzler off of Grubhub.
I'm not gonna. The only thing that
Oh,
stopped
wow.
me is because I knew that I could just bike to the grocery outlet and buy the cheapest cut of whatever, like almost expired meat that they have, and just fucking make it myself.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy.
Oh my god.
Woo! Crazy, crazy. Oh my gosh. I don't know. I don't know what I think I would have walked out. I don't think I would have
Oh, there was
stayed.
some people that did. I was in line, and a couple came in behind me, and I heard him tell her in Spanish, "Oh no, we're going to In-N-Out."
I just knew she didn't even fight about it. She didn't even fight about it.
She didn't.
Nope. She just saw the
Oh.
pandemonium. You know what is it? I don't know what it is about it. Like places that I like going to, like during the middle, like because I get out early and like I like go like right after I get off of work or whatever, like before whatever lunch rush or dinner rush or whatever hits. But the places that I like going to and they're like fucking empty, I'm just all like, oh fucking great. Whenever there is like more than a 3-person line, I get instantly angry. Like, what the fuck are y'all doing here? Like,
at my restaurant.
At my restaurant. Exactly. And, and it's like, I'm glad that they're doing well and that they're getting business. And when I see their like Instagram stories, because I'm not on TikTok, and they're like, come like join us or whatever. Look at this huge line. I'm just like, no, I'm not.
No.
Give me the hours of operation where you are least busy. That's when I'll come.
And you know, I do want to say, to the credit of all the waitresses that were there, they were all young girls. They were so on top of it and with a smile and helpful and nice and friendly. And I'm like, oh no, I'm too old to be a waitress.
That's the 20-year-old energy.
Yeah, I could not do that with all. I as the waitress would have been, sit your ass down. You're in a restaurant.
No, that's okay in like older waitresses. In the younger age waitresses, they still have hope and light in their eyes, so they can be friendly and courteous and like all of that. I'm dead inside. The most you're getting from me is like good morning, how are you, what do you want? I'm getting there. Like, oh my god, I'm using up the last of my customer service affability in this second job.
Damn. Oh. That brings us to the end of this episode.
Tip your waitress.
Yeah, don't forget to tip your waitress, yes. Where can they find us, Kristen?
As always, you can find us on our website at comadrecomics.com, or you can find us on our social media at Instagram, TikTok. We do have a Facebook, and if you're not already watching us, you can find us on our YouTube channel at Comadre Comics. So make sure that you are following us and listening to us on any major streaming platform.
Excellent. Thanks so much for listening, guys. We have been your host. I'm Sarah.
I'm Kristen.
And I'm Jen.
Bye, guys.
Bye.